Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. So, if you have not watched part one, you can do that first. I don't know if it's mandatory this week.
I know why people like you rolling your eyes. They're always like, ha ha ha, she rolled her eyes. And I'm like, ha ha ha, shut up.
I think I just do it as a habit. Like I think I've associated it with that sentence, and I don't even realize I'm doing it anymore.
Okay.
But anyway, we're gonna talk about more stuff here after you've watched part one,
Yeah, or before you've watched part one, and, you know,
whichever, whichever works.
whichever. That
Okay.
is assuming that you remember to post it at the right time, of course.
I only did that once.
I know. I know, but you gave me so much crap for not for one time misspeaking on the intro and saying welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. You're like, I always think you're gonna do that, and I'm like, okay, I messed up once in a year, but all right. So
Uh,
we're even.
anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Viewer questions?
Yeah, let's have them.
Okay. So Grex was asking, now that we've had her in our hands for a bit, how important would you say Dr. Aphra is compared to, say, Grand Inquisitor, Starkiller, one of the meta fleets, or a galactic legend? Do you think she's worth a rush, or should our plans stay what they are? So basically whatever you're working on as is.
What's your take on
Hmm.
it?
I was gonna ask you because you actually have her. I don't have her. I'm still slow farming her requirements. Um, I so I know that like she's been pretty strong because of her datacron being insane. I
Mm-hmm.
am curious what your thoughts would be once that on her, what it will be like once that datacron goes away. Because other than that, the only real thing I can think of is that she has a few missions in territory battles. Um, she's not going to be in the new raid as a faction to use. So I feel like you're going to get more maybe out of like Grand Inquisitor or a Galactic Legend.
Yeah, it's tough to tell because
Hmm.
like yeah, if you can, I mean she's gonna be a decent squad at the very least. Like she's gonna be doing some decent things, and people have been able to take her cron off and beat Jabba.
Okay.
Still, I think it would be a lot harder, a lot more sketchy. But like the current Datacron, if you have the ability to like rush and get her, like absolutely worth it. And then I mean the other pieces of it are Hondo is pretty great though. How great is he going to be without the Datacron? And
Right.
then or yeah, and then Sana is about to get like she's getting a set 7 cron, and
Hmm.
so that like all the different characters are looking good. Plus Aphra is also getting like there's another droid set in set 7, so
Yeah.
she's gonna be relevant for another, it extends her relevance for another 2 months or something. That being said, you're right, like GAC pretty important. Like she'll be one of the teams that you use. Like as teams kind of slowly get pushed back and out of relevance, like Geos hardly get used, etc.
Hmm.
Just to name one. But yeah, she's important for that. But you're right. Like territory battles, she has a couple missions, I guess that I don't know, they're fine, but not nearly as important as Jabba.
Right.
Inquisition, you get Riva,
Yeah.
and, and she is crazy important. It seems like, at least,
Hmm.
like she's probably more impactful overall than Aphra's going to be. And yeah, I would be more like if you really want her characters that go with her for her unlock,
Hmm.
that would be why you would prioritize her right now over the
Hmm.
rest of them.
And I mean, I think what's good with Aphra as well is she's in the journey guide, so you don't necessarily have to
Mm-hmm.
rush them in terms of trying to make the next event like you would with Grand Inquisitor because he's not in the journey guide.
Right.
Um, so that kind of I think takes a little bit of the pressure off because you can once you're ready, and you can go and attempt it. Or like say Executor or Profundity, you know that you need to be ready on the 1st or the 15th or whatever it is that those
Right.
events come back. So you kind of have timelines to work for those specific farms. Whereas this one, you can attempt it as soon as you're ready, which I always personally like factor that in.
No, and that's fair. That like the Grand Inquisitor one, there's this bigger sense of urgency right now because
Mm-hmm.
it'll be what in a month or two that I haven't been paying attention to when they're going to theoretically be re-releasing the last iteration of like, hey, we have 1 week to unlock Grand Inquisitor, then it'll lock up for another 3 months, and then it'll be in the journey guide again.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I've heard zero mumblings about when it's coming back. Um, but he's not going to be in the journey guide before end of June.
Yeah, yeah, he's it's gonna be a while. I
Hmm.
mean, he can't. It's always a year, at least. When
Yeah.
was he released? Was it June? It wasn't June.
Yeah, it was June.
I thought it was. I thought it was closer to fall. But anyways,
No, I
you're
was
probably right.
I remember I was in Italy when he was released and people were complaining about the event.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, yeah. She doesn't seem that crazy important. Like, good, yes, and the characters are all very strong. And who knows? Like you said, she could be. You could do any. Here's the thing that I struggle to turn her away for is they're all very usable characters, and it's 4 characters that are fairly easy to farm. Yes, it's a little painful in Cantina, but they're really fast farms because they're 8 nodes,
Yeah.
and it's only 4 characters to unlock a 5th pretty good character, and then they all are pretty relevant.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't ignore them. Like I'm slow farming them. I wouldn't
100%.
ignore their shards. And that goes for any character that drops onto the table once it's farmable. Farm
Yep.
it.
Start farming it. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, cool. Next question.
Sure.
Any other thoughts before I ask the next question?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No thoughts.
No
Zero
thoughts.
thoughts.
All right.
To be reft of thoughts.
Scarecrow. All right. Uh, Dark Banana Bot. If you were to design a good Conquest Omicron, so right now we only have Sortie, what should it do to actually be worth the materials? Is it even possible to make an Omicron good for Conquest, considering the changes all the time happening, since they refresh it every three iterations?
I'll try to do this before you because I'm sure you have better thoughts than me on this because I don't care about Conquest as much. So to make one that's relevant in my like it has to be something that gives you something. To me, it has to be something that gives you something consistent. Like if they gave you like one of the data discs,
Mm-hmm.
like one of the abilities from the data discs that was just consistently on that character. Like what's it called? The one that we love that makes Sortie hit like crazy.
Zealous Ambition.
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
if you had an Omicron that was just a portable zealous ambition,
Mm-hmm. See,
and let that character somehow to me like to make it worth it, it'd have to be something like that it would be value regardless, and then that character would have to not count against whatever feat he was helping you achieve as well.
right.
It's like you need a full squad of Inquisition, but you add this weird droid that has the Omicron. You can have 4 Inquisitors in that weird droid with the Omicron.
Oh, and it
Something like that.
wouldn't make it like void.
Right. It would still be like, oh, hey, you won with a full squad of Inquisitors. Like
Mm-hmm.
that. To me, it would have to be something like that would make it worth it. Because Sortie just doesn't seem like it's worthwhile at all, frankly. Even though I love Sortie, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know literally maybe 1 or 2 people that have her Omicron, and I don't know if it's worth it. The thing that's interesting with her Omicron, um, is it gives you the potential to 3-star the node a lot easier since you're reviving all your allies, you've got damage immunity, like all that fun stuff. Um, so you're not necessarily worrying about going back and cleaning up. Uh, the my view on it is I view the data discs as Omicrons in a way. Like that's what's changing your team and giving
Yep.
you a
Hmm.
boost in this specific game mode. So to me, to put an Omicron, like Sorty's Omicron, kind of seems redundant because I'm like, you you have data discs though. Like that's kind of what they do. It's the same idea. It's just that instead of only being affixed to one character, it's for any squad you want to take in. Um, and then I actually think it would be really tricky to make an Omicron that would be worthwhile, unless it is exactly what you're saying, where they're taking a disc and applying that modifier for the Omicron, because they change Conquest every 3 runs. So you're getting different feats. Your Omicron might not be worthwhile.
Well, and there could be like I will certainly miss the easy button of Zealous Ambition
Right.
when it goes away. Like I would, I mean, on my main, I wouldn't really consider it, but I think that it might hold some value to a lot of people who are like, oh man, like I'm not going to see Zealous Ambition for another, however many cycles of data
Mm-hmm.
discs, and I would really love to be able to use that at least on 4 battles per day or 5, however many
Well, and
you have the
I
stamina
mean,
for.
that disc is a good example because it makes a lot of teams that aren't necessarily powerhouses hit like powerhouses. Um, and it makes a lot of people that are struggling to beat certain like bosses, for example, um, be able to use a team that will go through no problem, like Padme.
Right. Yeah. So it would be, I don't know. It seems to me, if they wanted to price me in, that would be that would be how they'd make me consider it.
Yeah, that I agree with that. If they gave me a permanent, I think it would be Zealous Ambition, to be honest with you. If they gave me a permanent Zealous Ambition, I would be very happy with it.
Yeah, or give us one of the ones that people used to love playing Conquest with that breaks the.
That breaks.
Well, yeah, that lets you just do endless loops.
Hmm.
I never really got into those. I never like people were so angry when they were taken away. I was like, I was always boring about Conquest. I never did that.
Right.
So
So it didn't bug you.
I didn't care. I was like, good, you guys hate Conquest just like me now.
Okay, next question. Sea Money. Looking back over the past couple of months, there have been many forks in the road and decisions to make roster wise. Do you have any regrets or thoughts over the approach that you both have had? Would you do it the same knowing what you know now? In regards for you, to the Professor X account. And then my main is what it has been called, which is hilarious because I think I've called it my main a few times now.
Well, I mean, Professor X is as much your
Yeah.
alt as it is mine at this
It's
point.
it's just funny. I actually am super curious about this because you uh uh get very squirrely on Professor X.
Squirrely? What's
Yeah.
this? Well, okay, explain what's going on.
I just mean you're like, ooh, shiny. Like you have a plan, but then you're also like, we might take this detour
Oh,
and
that kind of squirrel. Okay.
yeah, yeah, not
All
like
right.
yeah, no.
I was like, I have a different personality.
No, no, no. I mean, you see like the new
Yeah.
I mean we were actually just talking about this with the set 7 datacrons. And you do have valid reasoning for this. You only have 2 GLs on Professor X. Um so I'm
Right.
curious what you think about in terms of everything you've done on Professor X lately.
If it was my main account, maybe I'd have more regrets. Like my main account is the play style that I typically would say is probably the best way to do it. Is focus on the powerful teams, the things that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. Because like Professor X does pretty well in GAC and stuff. He does struggle a little bit with like the new territory battle. It's like that whole roster it's like
Hmm.
built to play on in phase 1, and then I have no relic 6 or 7s or 8s
I've
at
done some
all,
really
hardly.
funny things with your Kenobi team on Tatooine.
Good. Well, yeah. I mean, so and then my Inquisition is all relic 7s, so go figure. But 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 that, yeah. So if it was my main, I'm like, well, yeah, I probably have done more Galactic Legends. But my alt, I mean, in a lot of ways, Professor X is more fun to play than my main account because you get to do some really nutty things. Not to steal from your squirrel metaphor, but I mean, like the other day, I got to stream where like I have two Galactic Legends, and the guy placed seven and Malgus, and I still full cleared him, one shot everyone besides Malgus, and he had 10 million GP, and it's in Kyber 2, and I don't know, like he probably reported me for cheating. Is what I like to think. Like, cause it was just so cool, and that's not always going to happen. A lot of, some people are going to do that, and they'll be like, all right, I have to pick one side to clear something. But
Mhm.
to me, that's the joy of that account, like the big game hunting of trying to beat those big squads without using my own Galactic Legends, and so. Even though I am working on Java, I'll like Sith Eternal's actually fairly close to me as well. I'll be getting those eventually, soonish. I'll start. I'm probably going to still, chase the shiny object. I have no regrets on my alt. My alt has been a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Uh, lot of really weird things on that account, but it's been pure joy. What about you? What about your main?
My main.
And what do you regret about Professor X?
I don't know if I regret things on Professor X. I will say in territory battles when I'm like going in, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, you don't have cat higher than relic 5. Uh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which is why Kenobi I end up doing like it's for Tatooine I do Jedi Master Kenobi, JTR, R2D2, General Kenobi, and Cassian.
Hmm.
And it takes a very long time. I think it takes like 10 or 15 minutes, but you get 2 waves, so
Haha.
so it counts.
Trust the
Um,
process.
yeah. Anyway, I don't think I have regrets in my approach. This was the first little bit probably since like ever, but this the last maybe 6-ish months or so was the first time that I seriously went against my own advice of like pivoting from your farm and chasing the shiny object because I usually am like don't pivot, like do what you're working on, don't chase the shiny object, like all that. But CG has made a uh really good habit in the last year of really reiterating what we should be working on, and if you're paying attention then like, you know that you should be doing what they're telling you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it even more point blank in the road ahead from last week. But um, being able to pivot, I pivoted from Lord Vader to Jabba. I was looking at this.
That
Uh,
was after we made that crate episode, wasn't it?
it was so I actually was looking at it because I was trying to figure out how quickly I did get Jabba. At the end of November, it was like November 20th or something. I was messaging a guildmate and I said that I was still working on Lord Vader. So I hadn't
Hmm.
pivoted yet. And I pivoted from Lord Vader to Jabba first, and then I stopped Jabba and went all in on Inquisitors so that
Right.
I could get the next run of him whenever he came out around Christmas. Which I did, and then I went back to my Jabba farm and I finished Jabba I think the second or third week of January, like I originally thought I was going to. Um, so pivoting was probably the key thing that I did, and I don't regret it. And the only reason why I did it is because I was really paying attention to what they were saying about Inquisitors. The Reva Shard was obviously a huge factor. And then again, I went back to that. I factored in the fact that Jabba and Lord Vader were always going to be in the journey guide. Grand Inquisitor wasn't, and I did not know when he was going to be back. So it made a lot more sense to pivot in that case. Um, And I don't think I would change anything. I think I would do it the same. It made a lot of sense for me to get Inquisitors right away. I actually have very thoroughly enjoyed playing with them. I've completely done a 180 on my opinion of them when they were first released, because I remember you asking me when Grand Inquisitor was coming if I was going to go for him if I felt like I needed him, and my immediate response was no.
Yeah.
And I think I like even scoffed at the idea. I was like, no, I don't need this guy. And now I'm like, oh, he's so much fun. Like the team is just so much fun to play.
It is. It is. Yeah, it is fun. There's a very versatile, and I'm interested to see how Riva uh,
Yeah. So
plays into that.
pivoting was a good choice, is my where I land on that.
Yeah, I'm like my main. I have to be a little more. I mean, I spend money on that account now, so it's not like you know. But I have to be a little more focused, I guess. I've always traditionally been more focused on my alt. I'm just like I don't want to be focused. I don't want to feel like I have to be disciplined in two different aspects of this game. Like I just I do work on my mods when I can on that account, and I do take it seriously, but I just love having an angle that's totally unique. Like where are you going to find
Mhm.
an account like mine that actually produces at this level, at being able to stay in Kyber 2. And I know that's a little bit of a brag, but I guess that's what I want, is that weird, quirky angle that, is unique
Mhm.
and in some ways compelling to people. I think a lot of people, I honestly, I don't know how many people watch me for my main anymore. Like, I think my alt is in some ways more popular.
I think your alt is also very relatable because you don't have all the toys on it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if I want more GLs, but eh, what's a man to do? I'm like, man, I don't think I could do it, but I wish I could start a new account, but I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could do it. I
Do you want me to start a new alt so you could do Conquest on that one too?
don't. To see what it's like when you go through the different tier levels of it. No.
Yeah, I don't want that for you.
Um, how much time do we have? Because there are two questions left, and I'm curious if we have time for them or not.
We've been going for 22 minutes.
Okay, let's save the two questions for next week then, because we still have to do a character review and a roster roast and all that fun stuff.
All right, so to go to the game.
Yeah, let's have a look at this. Do we want to do the tune review first?
Oh,
Oh,
do you
we
want to
can
do
start.
the PSA real quick?
Oh yeah, I guess we can do that. So, the packs, there really isn't anything that we haven't already reviewed, other than like obviously there's a new marquee bundle, but it's the same bundle that you
It's so
see.
worthless, man.
Yeah, like it's the same one. It's just the character is new. But PSA, if you care, the Omicron bundle is back. There are 5-ish days left. So you can get your 10 Omicrons for $30 American, $40 Canadian.
And what value would you, in general, place on this? Like, do you ever buy this? Is this something you
I have
would
bought
recommend to
this.
people?
I have bought this before. I think it's a good deal. I mean, if you care about Omicrons.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I bought it this time. I don't always, but
yeah, I don't I've bought it when I'm in like dire need of Omicrons.
I'll say this about Omicrons is they've done a good job of making them kind of invaluable in a way. Like you can't really put a price tag on them because they're
Hmm.
so crazy rare. And the price tag is what they this is Canadian dollars. This is $30 otherwise, folks. You can buy
Hmm.
two of them, so you can buy a full Omicron for $60, and I know that like that makes me cringe on some levels for sure. For my main account, it's whatever. I spend enough money on that account. It's not a big deal. My alt, never, but
Not so much.
well, I barely spend money on the alt. But
Yeah. I think I bought it when I was giving multiple Omicrons out to multiple characters, and I was like, I need to buy it because I don't have enough to go around. So just
yep,
PSA. Okay, so we'll do the character review then.
sure.
And this is tied to set 7. Um, which they just went over today. They gave their post out, but Sortie is getting an Omicron. She's getting a Datacron. Um,
She is.
because there's a whole bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah, she's crazy. So you use her in Conquest, you say? Like
Yes.
she's pretty good even to gear 8. Do you use you use her at gear 8?
I use her at gear 8. I do her BB-8. Um it's her BB-8. I think I sometimes throw R2 there. And then usually it's Chupio and L3. And my L3 is only gear 12 as well. So the only
BB-8
ones
gives
that
them.
the only ones at Relics are BB-8, R2, and Chupio. Yeah, but BB-8 gives that nice speed bonus.
Yeah, all that turn meter boost.
Hmm.
So, oh, and then as long as you have the Datacron, we were just or the data
Disc.
disk.
Yeah,
As long as you have some data that we were just talking about,
something.
the Zealous
She
Ambition, she just
she hits
for,
so hard.
on my main account, if I get 2 Zealous Ambitions, she will just one shot everyone until I get to like 50% stamina.
Yeah. Like I take her in at gear 8 and she will go first and do her little AoE. Oh, BB-8 might go first, but she goes before the enemy team and she does her little card throw AoE, and 9 times out of 10 she kills multiples, if not the whole team, depending what sector you're in, obviously. Um, and it is stupid fun for Conquest.
Stupid fun.
Stupid
Play
fun.
play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So,
I
uh,
said that to my mother-in-law today. Uh,
good.
uh,
She needed to hear it, I'm sure. So, no, the okay. So, one thing I'll say about her before we dive into her kit a little bit, but so the fact that she has the Old Republic tag means that she's going to potentially be very relevant for the raid as well. And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly how relevant because I don't know which droids. All like I haven't really thought about. Like, it's probably not too many Hut Cartel droids or Mando droids or whatever, but she still might be relevant on those teams anyways.
Hmm.
Just the fact that she's Old Republic, and I think I don't know. She's an up and comer. I think that a lot of people will be throwing gear on her in the next couple months, frankly,
Hmm.
and I think they should be because she does some crazy stuff. And Professor X already has her farmed to or to gear 7, or not gear 7. Sorry, to 7
7 star.
stars, and
Hmm.
that was just off of slow farming, right? Like
Yeah.
you never like did double like the refresh or anything,
I never refreshed her.
right?
Hmm.
She's a 7 stars though, and so she's very. By now, a lot of people have her. At least they have her available and farmed.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you've been doing it since she went onto the table. So, um, yeah. Okay. So let's look. Do you want to look at her leadership first?
Yeah, so she's got. This is probably the most interesting part of her. Honestly, could you just click on number 7 so we don't have to worry about the
Yeah.
Omicron, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Because I guess her Omicron it's not necessary.
No, I agree with that. So, like, she has a lot of stuff about with if she has droids with her, if it's only droids, all this
Hmm.
stuff. She goes really well with all the droids, even some of the separatist droids. In fact, she just leaves a couple small parts of her kit off. But the spare parts thing, man, this is what's gonna make the new Datacron so crazy broken. And
Yeah.
I mean, you and I were talking about it, and you probably just don't. I mean, a lot of people, like, I think justly have kind of put her off to the side because she's not required as a farm for anything. She's
Right.
not, she's like a luxury character. And I mean, Professor X is the same. I've had her on my favorites because she's really good, but it's like, I don't know if I can justify it. The spare parts though, like you were like, really, like Nihilus doesn't kill her, like nothing kills them as long as there's spare parts, like
Yeah. I
it's
just I just completely forgot about that line in her kit.
the revive can't be prevented, and
Hmm.
that's on any droid. And the fact that her Datacron, just every time she takes a turn, it
Mhm.
just gives everyone else spare parts and it boosts their offense. It's going to make her crazy strong.
And I completely misread that when I was first looking at the Datacrons for set 7. I read it as she gave them spare parts. All of them got spare parts at the start of the turn or at the start of the battle,
Hmm.
plus the offense stacking and whatnot. I didn't even realize it was at the start of her turn until I went back and reread it. And I was like, that is disgusting.
It's totally crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. In general, I will say, so if you don't take the Datacron into consideration, one of
Mhm.
the things is a lot of people have been like she's very susceptible to Wampa attacks. People, that's at least the idea that people have.
Mm.
Wampa can one shot this team, and he can.
Mhm.
The thing you have to worry about though, like so she's very sneaky. She's very sneaky. Could you click on her unique? I think
Yeah.
that's where
The VIP thing.
yeah, well, so the VIP thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think of remember where she gets all of her protection up. Like she gets 5 stacks of protection up all the time. Maybe it's not
Mm.
here. I'll go. Can you go down a little bit more? Let's see if all allies. Yeah. Okay. So this is just the VIP stuff. Okay. Maybe it's still in her leadership, in fact, but she's. This shows how well I know her kid. But
That's fun.
here's the thing: if you mod her for just pure health and speed, it's like
Mhm.
tons of health, and you want her pretty speedy because she can be over 400 speed. Once you give her enough, a few speed here and there. She becomes the like because she's so healthy, she gets so many stacks of protection up, and she refreshes those so often that she's um she's just very difficult
She's difficult to kill.
to kill. She's very, very difficult. Wampa eventually gets to the point where he can hit through all 5 of those stacks if he ramps up fast enough. But in 5v5, I get so many holds with my Wampa or with my sortie squad because Wampa people are like, oh, I could kill it with Wampa, and then they can't. They time out. So
No, you're right. It is on her unique in VIP treatment. So it says here, whenever sortie is damaged, allies with VIP recover health and protection equal to 5% of her max health and protection. They gain offense up for 2 turns. Then she gains defense up and 50% protection up, stacking 250 to 250%. So 5 stacks of protection up for 2 turns. That is gross.
okay, there it is. Yeah. Okay. No, it is. So protection up is based off of your health stats.
Mhm.
So just mod her for a lot of health, and then I think the really sneaky thing would be if you can find a Datacron that has a bunch of defense. Either armor or especially armor against Wampa because he does physical damage. Yeah, he'll
That,
time out.
that would be that would be mean. Um, yeah, because we're getting on this set the stats. You have armor, you have max health. Um, there's resistance, but I think you would want armor over resistance, right?
Yeah, for her definitely because Wampa would be the target or
Yeah.
would be the one people want to use. Yep.
Yeah. So armor and health, and then you're laughing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you could fit in a little bit of potency and stuff, so you could add those
Hmm.
target locks and stuff. But otherwise, yeah, like the just her being survivable, and especially once like we're gonna see some really annoying datacrons coming. It's like what do you do against this? Because you have to kill a droid 2 times in a row before Sortie gets another turn.
That would be infuriating.
Yeah, it's gonna be real irritating.
Ugh. Yeah.
And you can't just like, oh shoot, okay, well I guess I'll just use like my Treya squad with Nihilus because Nihilus will kill him, but then they'll come back because of spare parts.
Right, exactly. And then you have your 8 turn cooldown or whatever it is for him to annihilate again.
Right.
So you need to kill them quickly. And when they revive, because I don't pay attention to
Yeah,
when they
you can click
revive,
on it.
um, Yeah, I guess it would tell me. Uh, duh. So they're divided with 100% health, gain foresight, and protection up for 2 turns.
Yep. So they're not easy meat. It's not like, oh man, they're in red.
Right. Um, but it does say that all allies would lose spare parts. So could you theoretically
Hmm.
get the team to low health, so to speak, kill somebody, everyone else now doesn't have spare parts, and then you could kill someone else, not necessarily the one who revived.
Yeah, like a momentum team like Imperial Troopers might be able to take it down, for instance,
Right.
because they'll be able to get a kill, they get enough turn meter to get another kill and another kill. Like they'll just build off of it.
Hmm.
So I think it won't be indestructible, but it's going to be very difficult for a squad like Imperial Troopers to beat a squad with BB-8 and Sortie because BB-8 gives everyone an extra 40% turn meter for
Yeah.
each droid on the team.
Yeah. It's going to be extremely, extremely fast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Man,
Kind of.
kind of. Um, yeah, I think she's going to be interesting. I think you're right, and a lot of people have kind of just sort of brushed her to the side because she hasn't been required. You don't need her, like as you can clearly see, you don't need her at high gear levels to make her work in Conquest.
Right. Yeah, she's just like the ultimate luxury character that I think is going to suddenly become more important than you might think.
Hmm. It's going to be very interesting with her Datacron.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yikes indeed. Shall we roast a roster? Let's go
Yeah,
see if this guy has sortie.
let's roast a roast. That's a great idea, actually. I didn't even look at that. All right. So, Ray Rock.
Yeah, so he's actually a friend.
Hmm.
He watches a lot of my streams, and he's consistently talking crap about how he could beat Professor X. No, he's a really good dude. But we're gonna have to roast him, and therefore the gloves are, I don't know. We never fully take them off, but
I
people
was gonna,
still
s-
get mad about us. They're
I was
like,
gonna say,
"You're so mean."
did you put them on?
Yeah, shush. This, this isn't a Zareth roast.
Uh, yeah. I feel like Ray Rock can handle the jokes.
I think so.
Um, but for transparency, he is 8.8 million GP, so he's one of the larger rosters.
He is. Yeah, it's a big roster to roast. To be honest, it's tough to find holes in the roster. I think there
Hmm.
are some pretty significantly awful things about this roster, though. So we could take a look.
All right, so ships.
Sure.
Okay.
So his executor in there.
Hmm. Okay, so let's see capital ships. Okay, so he has all of them.
He does have profundity. All right. Well, that was going to be
Uh,
so easy. Damn it all. All right.
and they're all relict and they're all 7-star.
Oh wow. Even Akbar. Yeah. All right.
Hmm.
Like the rest of them are requirement characters. Akbar is the one that I'm like, yeah, usually people don't have him relic, but he does.
That's a good point, actually. Um, okay. So
He's farmed all his ships.
farmed his ships. Uh, Defender 6-star, but I mean that's brand new and it was a chase. Six
Yeah,
star was pretty solid for the chase, I think.
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I say that because mine is 6-star.
Um,
I'm just making myself feel better.
yeah, 6 stars okay.
Um,
All
okay,
right.
so, like they're
So
farmed, they're relict. Man, L3 is relict. Yikes.
L3 is relict.
Yeah, L3 is relic
Yeah.
6, it looks like.
Yeah, and poor
Poor,
old Lando. He's like,
poor
oh,
Lando.
I'm sad.
He's just along for the ride.
L3's like, it works. Royal Guard is not
Uh,
working though.
no. Poor Royal Guard.
Palp is judging him. All right.
This
This
is this is
this
what I
seems
expected, to be honest.
he has the scythe. He has Grand Inquisitor. Yes. All
Hmm.
right. So This is why it's tough to roast a bigger roster. Let's go look at the obvious flaws.
All right, let me just see what his datacrons are like.
Okay.
Okay, tons of datacrons.
All right. Yeah, he's actually engaging in them.
Yep.
Which, I mean, he's at Kyber 2, and I don't want to spoil how many Galactic Legends he has, but,
Right.
that's a big element to it right now. It's a factor that evens the score a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go spoil how many Galactic Legends he has.
Let's spoil it. People are so excited to find out.
That he has 3.
Only light side ones, too.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there is.
No.
It means you're not versatile.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you go to the dark side territory battle, and you're like, your guild's like, hey, get some waves, and you're like, I will not. I will not do that.
Nope.
I will not be doing that today, sir.
I am a little sad that Jedi Master Luke's only Relic 7, though.
I'm like, dude, that is awful. You have okay. Well,
Like, that's
I'm legitimately appalled by that. He absolutely needs to be Relic 8, at least 9 if at all possible.
he just gets so much from it.
So much. Oh man.
Okay.
Well,
Um,
all
yeah,
right.
like
Well,
he's got the requirement characters higher than the GLs.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say he's got 2 GLs.
What do you want to look at first?
Oh, I guess let's still go for the low-hanging fruit. Like, I know he has no Night Sisters, for instance.
All right.
This is well established.
This is Oh man. When you said no Night Sisters earlier, I was like, yeah, okay, like no Night Sisters. Like I have no Night Sisters kind of thing. This is no Night Sisters. He doesn't even
Yeah.
have Acolyte unlocked.
Yeah, he's
Dude.
it's I don't know. Like you question people's decision making when you see this.
Oh man. Wow.
He has a relic for Asajj. So
Right.
that's cool, I guess.
For gas, I guess.
I
And
don't
then
know what good the Zeta is if you don't have Night Sisters. Because it's either the ramping one or the leadership one, and you know.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
Look at Zombie and Spirit have 2 pieces of gear.
I know
That's
it brings a new definition to pathetic.
Man. I feel a
All
lot
right,
better about my Night Sisters.
you should. Everyone should. Someone who's not yet level 85 yet probably should feel better about their Night Sisters.
Right? Oh man. Okay. Where do you want to go next?
You choose.
Um okay, let's look at Jedi. He's got Jedi Master Luke and Kenobi, so he should have decent Jedi,
All
theoretically.
right, yeah, it's decently robust. Qui-Gon Jinn, you have the Omicron for him. Like you should probably get him. Should probably get him to 5, so you could actually put a decent Datacron on him. Mundi is a surprise. You don't
Yeah,
have him.
6-star. Do you get I guess if you're doing the new I'm assuming you're doing the new territory battles, and then you gotta buy the shards. That kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But okay. Okay.
All right. I'll be
Um
try to join a better guild. You know. Let's see what his hut cartel looks like. Is he working
Okay.
on Jabba as he should?
And we
Like a good boy.
he has Inquisitors, so
Looks like he is working on it. In fact.
yeah. Okay, so now I was thinking he was going for Kylo when I looked at his first order.
All right.
I
His
wonder if he
decision
pivoted.
making. Yeah. Oh, so he has some good first order stuff.
Unless I imagined it, which is entirely possible. Yeah,
Oh.
see, I would think you're going for Kylo
Maybe he's going for the mega double unlock in one day
in
or
one.
something.
Maybe he was going for Kylo and then pivoted.
I
But I
don't.
mean, he's so close, and he's got the Phasma Omicron.
Yeah, so he's got a good Phasma team.
Mhm.
See, I don't like roasting these big rosters because let's look at his speed. Can we just go to the overall
Okay, yeah.
thing and we can look at his modding priorities for speed?
Yep, yep. Okay, so GL's Piet,
See how
Echo,
fast his Piet is.
345.
All right, so he doesn't have the best mods. If that's the fastest Piet
Mhm.
is, and let's look at Mara.
343.
Yeah, he needs to work on his mods for sure. They do okay, but I mean, if that's your fastest set, you probably could use a little bit of a boost. I sound like such a snob, even though I'm I'm supposed to be roasting his roster. I'm like, work on this, peasant.
Okay, so not the fastest all around.
I will say that he prioritized the right characters to be fast.
Okay, that is fair. That's a good point. Bounty Hunter is about what I expected. Yeah.
Hold on, what's his IG 88 at? What relic? 5. Okay. For a second, I thought it said 9. I was like, what? Okay.
Um, we know he's got Inquisitors.
Does he have? Hold on. Does he have Maul? Look at Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He
Yep, yep.
does. It's kind of a pathetic Maul, but he kind of has one. Okay,
Okay.
a little bit.
No Night Sisters, man.
What about Sith? He doesn't have a lot of dark side stuff.
Okay.
He has Malgus. He has Malak, Darth Revan. Yeah. Traya is an abomination. Oh man.
Poor Treya. Nihilus has more gear than Treya.
Traya doesn't even have both Zetas.
Oh man.
Scion, yeah, that's a pretty egregious overlook.
She's pretty fun. Still, considering she came out what, 3, 4 years ago? Something like that.
I don't know. This game is 7 years old.
I can't remember when she came out.
I don't know.
I can't remember when Heroic Sith came out.
It's just a blur.
It all bleeds together. Um,
It's like a long-term relationship. You're like, really? That was that long ago?
okay, he's got a ton of his unaligned force users geared too. Pretty much all of them except for Fulcrum.
All right, Ray Rock.
So,
Go work on your roster somehow.
the mods. And get Jedi Master Luke Relic 9.
And please, for the love of God, just put some gear on those frickin' Night Sisters.
And unlock your Acolyte.
Do
Just for
something with
fun.
yourself.
Just for fun.
Get yourself get a job. Clean yourself up. Yuck.
Uh, okay, I think that's. I mean, I actually just want to see what's at the bottom of his roster. Krennic's 3-star.
Sortie. He's not even farming Sortie. Well,
Oh, Tusken Raiders 4-star. That's not going to be helpful for the raid.
no, he'll super regret that.
All right.
Hopefully.
I
This
think
part always makes me sad.
it does. I think that's it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
We did it.
Yay.